Thank you. As I said, this is a continuation of our closed guard series. We're going to be going over what to do if your opponent shows you that they want to stand or like put a knee in to break open your closed guard. As I said at the beginning of this series, I view closed guard as like the best guard you can have. It's like the mount of the guard. Your opponent has very limited options and you have like the world at your disposal. And my other principle is that you decide when you're going to open your closed guard. And that really applies when your opponent has shown you that they want to stand or put a knee in, because they're going to show you what they want to do, and then you, knowing what they're about to do, should have a response, and you can dictate when you deploy that response based on what you know that they have to do when they're doing what they've shown you that they want to do. So it's a lot of words, but basically, you know what they want to do, and you're going to beat them to it. Does that make sense? Cool. So I'm going to borrow Jason here, and the first one I want to demonstrate is when your opponent has shown you that they want to put a knee in to like wedge open your closed guard. So there's a couple different like scenarios and grips and everything. I don't want to cover all of that. And what I really just want to focus on is like what the mechanic he's using to open my closed guard. And in this instance, it's like one knee wedged into my butt, essentially. So regardless of where his hands are, they'll probably be like high like this and his head will be down and he's going to be pushing away. And as you can see, that's like made some space. And now he's going to get one knee up and I'm going to feel it like basically on my butt. And I've shown before how I can just like angle off. And now we're back down. But if he's insistent on this happening, and I'm like, all right, this is getting tiring for me, I'm going to take what he's giving me, right? So he's shown me that he wants to wedge that knee in, so I'm gonna let him do it. I'm gonna get these sleeve grips, and as soon as I feel this knee come in, I'm gonna open my closed guard, and I'm gonna feed this De La Riva hook through deep. So this is what's called like De La Riva X, because a regular De La Riva hook would kind of be shallow. I'm feeding it all the way through, and hooking my foot on his hip while I have his sleeves. Now it's going to be really easy for me to plant this foot, and I just push, and he goes down. And in this transition, I'm looking to push his hips away, and if he's a fish, I can come to mount, but most likely, I'm going to end up on his side. So that was kind of slow. I'll show you a little bit faster so you can see like the transition. But he's got the knee in, this comes in, push, and we come up. Any questions on that?
Could you show the footwork as you come to the top?
For sure. So there's a little bit of footwork here, and again, I know this is happening, so I'm anticipating. As soon as I feel that knee come up, and I have his sleeves already, this foot goes in his hip to give me a little space. This foot comes all the way through. This foot hooks on his hip. Once I have that, he's kind of stuck. Like he'll tell you, he can't really go anywhere. He can't stand up. He has no balance. He's on ice skates. This foot just plants to generate some momentum in this direction. Now, once we get here, there's a couple, this is a little bit of a scramble, but I have a head start because I have this hook in, so his hips are turned, I have his hands, and I have this foot free. Ideally, I find his knee and push his hips even further away, because now I can kind of slide him out, and it's going to be hard for me to stop. But if he's moving a little bit, most likely what's going to happen is I just get this knee in to turn his hips, and I can come to side control. Any questions on that? Cool, let's try that 2 times each. 1, 2, 3. Any questions on that move? Any at all? Cool, seeing none, we're now going to talk about what we're going to do if our opponent shows us that they want to stand on both feet. Now there's one concept about him standing on both feet that I want to cover. This isn't an absolute, but this is like generally. When he stands, he's either going to have his feet parallel or they're going to be staggered. And his feet are generally going to match how he has put his hands on me to open up my guard. So if he has 2 hands that are parallel, chances are when he stands, his feet will be parallel. That's just how the body works, right? So it's gonna look like this. Versus if he has 1 high, 1 low, he's generally gonna stand with 1 foot first, and then the other one's gonna be staggered, okay? So that's a general concept. So if he's put both hands high, and he's pushing away, and he hasn't done any knee stuff, generally he's gonna stand and both of his feet are gonna be together. So first things first, I get sleeve grips whenever he gives me his sleeves. So he goes to both feet, and I'm going to do what's called a ladder sweep, and it's just, I'm gonna reclose my guard on his knees. That's all I did. So I just open my closed guard and I've closed it on his knees. He now has no base, and I have all of his limbs, and the leg work is gonna be like what we just showed. Do it one more time. So he's put both hands high, he's gonna stand with both his feet high. together. Sleeve grips, close my guard, and I'm pinching it. So I close my guard and I pinch my knees, which knocks his knees together. We can go either side. And we finish on side control. Any questions on that one? Let's try that 2 times, 1, 2, 3. Anybody have questions on the ladder sweep? Or the one that we did previously? No questions? Cool. One question, sorry. Yeah. So, what is there? Their legs are wide. If their legs are really wide? Yeah, for sure. That's a good question. So, if their legs are really wide, that's when you can generally go for what's funly called like the kid sweep. I'm just gonna grab his ankles. Okay. And if his legs are really wide and I can't reach, which I guess is possible, but I'm not really sure how. Because for him to have his, yeah, like we'd be like this, I guess. I'll probably swim and bring it back down. And you can go from there. But at that point now I've got a couple arm wraps. I can take an arm wrap as well. It's going to be a really awkward position for him to be in. Yeah. But yeah, so if his feet are near me, you can kid sweep. And if not, you can just break his grips because they're going to be kind of weak because his weight's going to be back. And then bring it back out. Good question. Any other ones? Okay, so now we're going to talk about what we do if his legs are staggered when he goes to stand. And again, generally, he's a lot bigger than I am. Generally, this is going to be when his grip is staggered, right? So he's shown me that he wants to open. He's got one high sleeve. As we've shown with the arm wrap and everything else, I'm going to start with a cross sleeve grip. So now Jason goes to stand, and he puts a leg out. As soon as I have a leg near me with the arm that's free, I'm going to hook it to myself, and I'm going to try to glue my head to his shin as much as I can. And it's going to be a little awkward because I'm twisting or whatever, but the idea is to get my bicep by his ankle. And this is called a muscle sweep because you're making a muscle with your arm. And all I'm trying to do is scoop his arm off the ground. And you'll generally end up in the mount because you have the closed guard, which is the mount of guard. Mount. We'll show that one more time. So Jason gets one high, one low. I get a cross grip. As soon as I have the leg near me, I underhook it and bring it towards myself. Now I'm just going to really get my arm on the ground and scoop with my bicep against his heel. They come right in your mouth. Any questions on that one?
Are you sweeping by doing a muscle, whatever, or you picking up very?
That's a great question, thank you. I'm also extending my hips a little bit, but the hips by themselves aren't going to do anything. Because if I'm just here, so I am extending with my hips a little bit. I'm like bridging with my spine to make a plane, but the key motion is getting his foot off the ground as I do a little bit. Yeah, good question. Any others? Let's try that 2 times each. 1, 2, 3. Do we have any questions about the muscle sweep? Okay, I want to go over a couple of details on that, and it will also feed into the next technique that we're going to show, which is an omoplata off of this sweep. So, a couple of details. I need to keep my closed guard closed the whole time. The principle, again, I decide when I open my closed guard, and to hit the muscle sweep, I need closed guard. So he goes to stand, keep my legs, cross sleeve. For this one, the biggest detail is that I have my arm on the ground and I'm tripping him with my arm. So up here isn't going to work. It's got to be by his heel. And all I need is his heel to move forward a little bit and he's going to fall over. Now from here, I have to do like a little bit of a hip bump where I can come out to the side and do the sweep or whatever. But all of the sweep is really just a little bit of a trip with my arm. So if you think about that mechanic, that might help there. But I had a question from Tony that he's saying that like instinctively, as soon as the guy stands, he opens his closed guard. Don't let that happen. But if there's like a size disparity, like Jason's a lot taller than I am, it's hard for me to keep my legs closed. When he goes to stand, I might have to open my legs. But that's okay, because I'm still underhooking the arm down here. And say my legs busted open or whatever, that's fine, because what we're also going to show is his defense to the muscle sweep. So say my legs were still closed, he's going to turn his knee in, because I have this compromise. Now I can't sweep him, but he's giving me an omoplata. This shoots high into his shoulder as I lock here and chop down, because I want to compromise his posture and knock him over. Now from here, I keep the sleeve, find the bar, hip, finish the omoplata. We're not going to go over the omoplata details of finishing. There's a ton of stuff from there. I just want to show that if, for whatever reason, my legs bust open, or he defends the muscle sweep by turning his knee in, all I do is I let go of my guard, this leg bites high into the shoulder and chops down, and I lock here. And then from here, wrist locking, finish omoplata. Tell him thank you, good try. Any questions on that? Yeah, absolutely. So we're in the close guard. Jason has one high, one low. I underhook over the muscle sweep, and he turns his knee in to defend. Sheath is high, fight down. And then we're here. So we'll hold.
Matt, you could also shove his other, if he opens up your guard because it's big,
Yeah.
couldn't you just shove his other leg and because you have this whole thing and he turns his knee, will they fall?
Sorry?
So he turns, he's bigger.
Yep.
He opened up your guard
Uh-huh.
and he turned his knee.
Uh-huh.
Can you use this leg like that opened up? Just shove his leg and because you have this grip, will he fall? I'm asking.
Show me what you're talking about, Jason. I'm having trouble seeing the picture.
Right, because I'm here.
Uh-huh.
You turn your knee.
Ready? Yeah, you can do that.
But then I can't take it.
You can stand back
I
up.
can't take them out.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
I
never
mean,
mind.
you can do anything, but
I mean, you
yeah, for
should.
this one, he's putting himself into an omoplata is the easiest. I'm just gonna take it. He's putting himself in himself. Any questions on that? You good? All right, let's try that 2 times each. 1, 2, 3.
Hey Matt, why'd you flare that omoplata leg out so much? Was that momentum to drop down?
The outside leg.
The
You
outside
opened it?
leg?
Yeah.
It could have just been for demonstration purposes, but it's also because yeah. I wanna, he's got an arm that's free, so if I don't come wide, this is the leg you're talking about?
Yeah,
If I try
usually-
to come shallow, he could grab it and stop me. So
okay.
that's a great question and a detail I didn't mention. This needs to clear everything.
Okay.
And it's also, to your question, momentum. Like, this swings in and chops down. Great question. Any other ones? Awesome. So we're gonna do a bit of a positional. So 3 minutes each. Person on bottom is gonna start in close guard. Just go like 60%. So each person will get 1 shot at that, and then we'll do regular rounds. Get your mouth guards, water. 1, 2, 3.